Let's understand the limits of your context window. Usually it concerns memory and tokens that we use, and how all the whole forgetting thing happens when you give a long context. What exactly is happening? Let's go a little deeper. You know that the model actually operates in a particular window, right? It's a bounded world, a limited space where everything must fit. So now we ask an important question: what happens when that world where it operates is too big, when there is more information that the model can actually hold? This is where the limits appear. Every model has a capacity, a maximum size of context it can process. This is called the context window limit. And inside this limit, everything must compete for space. You prompt something that you very important to you. You want an answer for it, and but you also want that to hold some kind of history. You have a certain set of instructions which it should not override, and it should always follow certain data that you already have. So all of it must fit in that context window. If it doesn't, then something gets pushed out, something gets forgotten. And here's the dangerous part: you don't always control what gets removed. Sometimes it's old conversation, sometimes it is important instructions that gets out, sometimes it is critical details that gets out. And then what happens? The model doesn't warn you also, it just continues as if nothing happened. And that is where the subtle errors start showing up. Now connect this to reality. You build a long interaction, you explain everything clearly, you give context, constraints and examples the way you want it, and suddenly the answer becomes worse. Not because the model has changed, but because the window overflowed, the context window overflowed, and something important was lost. This is not hallucination. Okay, this is forgetting, pure forgetting. And forgetting usually when it comes to LLMs are silent. It's like what you call it's a silent killer. Now another layer. Everything inside the context is not treated equally. Recent information is often more influential. Clear instructions will override weak signals. Strong patterns dominate the weak ones. So even inside the window, there's a competition, a hierarchy. Not all context is equal. Now the realization becomes sharper. It is not enough to give more context. You must give the right context in the right form at the right time, because adding more context can sometimes make things worse. More noise, more confusion, more entropy. So the context engineering is about not just about uh, defining, it's about more about engineering how you will fill that window. Okay, so basically you can call it context design. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you select what is it that you want it to be conveyed, what stays, what goes, what dominates, because the model's intelligence is only as good as the space you give it to think. And when the space is limited, there's a real engineering left to be done. I mean, this is purely space engineering. Context engineering is that probability space that has to be defined. So that's what I wanted to, your attention to be on, so that you understand exactly what you're dealing with when you're dealing with an LLM, especially moving to agentic AI.